Right now at 6, new finger pointing in the Portland teacher strike and significant signs of progress.
So we feel like we're very, very close.
Plus, why you'll be seeing more Portland police officers on foot downtown during the holidays.
I think this is one step that PPB as a community safety partner can do.
And the future of getting there may be closer than you think.
With this kind of vehicle, you're never stopped.
The Oregon inventor whose creation is finally taking flight.
Good evening, everyone, and we begin with both sides reporting considerable progress when it comes to reaching a deal in the Portland teacher strike that has been running for nearly 3 weeks. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm China Green. There is growing pressure to end the strike and get students back in the class after Thanksgiving Day.
Let's bring in Alma McCarty live in Southwest Portland outside the location where both sides are negotiating. Alma, what's the update there?
Well, David, China, around 3 o'clock this afternoon, we heard from PPS officials who said that they sent over to PAT's bargaining team a complete settlement package for the union's review and consideration. After marathon bargaining sessions, there is some hope on both sides of this thing that they could come to a resolution and soon, but there was some initial disagreement earlier in the day. Take a listen.
After 24 hours at the bargaining table, the Portland Association of Teachers released an update Monday morning. In it, the union points the finger at the PPS school board, saying it rejected the recommended settlement from its own bargaining team, forcing the strike to continue. PAT President Angela Bonilla calling that deal transformational, with both sides moving towards shared goals.
I wanted to be clear that our board did not reject the whole proposal.
But hours after that release, the board and district leadership claimed they've not reached any deal with the teachers. Board Chair Gary Hollins noting certain obstacles between the two sides.
There were many positive parts of the proposal that addressed planning time, COLA, health and safety, and mental health supports. Now, while there were many things that in the proposal that we could agree on, there was also some fundamental issues, specifically around parents having the ability to make educational decisions about other people's children that we could not agree on.
Board member Julia Brim-Edwards says they disagree over class size committees. The union has proposed having parents involved in a committee that determines what happens when a specific class reaches its capped size.
We feel definitely there's a role for parents in the broader school level decision making around class sizes. We know parents care about that, and we're all parents. We want to have lower class sizes, but we also think the people making the decision should be the educators and the principal or the school administrators. As the union and district continue negotiations, Brim-Edwards believes a deal is close. So we feel like we can close the gap. We're hoping to close the gap.
Closing the gap, which Alma raises the next question here, of course. Any sense of timeline from either side? Something perhaps to reassure parents that kids will actually be back in the classroom come Monday?
Well, David, I did specifically ask district officials about that because, as you said, it's very important. And although they said that they are close to something, close to a resolution, they were not able to give me a timeline around midday today. I should also note that I did reach out following that initial press release to PAT to see if there was anybody available for an interview or could comment on the state of things. We have not heard back from them at this time. And again, PPS officials again saying that a complete settlement package was sent to PAT's bargaining team for review and for consideration earlier this afternoon. So we will keep you updated on that as we learn more. David?
Yeah, we'll see if they accept it. Cautious optimism in Southwest Portland. Thank you, Alma, for the update.
And stay with KGW for the latest on the Portland teachers strike, however long it lasts. You can catch up on our past coverage and look for updates on KGW.com and streaming on KGW+.
In your other headlines this evening, the family of a recent homicide victim in Portland says it was an accident. 45-year-old Shamisha Allen was shot and killed in the Glenfair neighborhood over the weekend. The suspect, Donnell Watson, appeared in court this afternoon. He is charged with manslaughter. The victim's sister said Allen and Watson have 2 children together. Watson pleaded not guilty.
A man is behind bars after a carjacking that led to a multi-county police pursuit and shooting at a Scappoose auto shop. Portland police say the carjacking happened around 8:40 this morning at Southwest 9th and Alder downtown. Police tracked the vehicle's GPS through Washington County and eventually into Columbia County. That's where the suspect fired his gun at a person at Pro Automotive in another attempted carjacking. Now that was unsuccessful and thankfully no one was hit. The suspect then took off back toward Portland on Highway 30, speeding and veering into oncoming traffic. Officers were finally able to stop him, spike strips, and arrest him.
A rude start to the day for a southeast Portland bar. Police say somebody backed a U-Haul truck through the side of the Ship Ahoy Tavern. We've got the surveillance video here. The tavern's manager said they believe the people in the truck were trying to make off with their ATM. The thieves were not successful. The tavern was shut down for most of the day because of that, the hole in the side. They've been able to board it up. They've opened for the night. If you have information about this break-in, call Portland Police.
Police have arrested an alleged fentanyl dealer they say has ties to a recent deadly overdose. 18-year-old Christian Martinez of Gladstone was arrested last week while traveling from California to Oregon. Police say they found fentanyl in his car during a traffic stop. They then searched his apartment and say they found evidence of fentanyl manufacturing and distribution operation. And according to court documents, he sold fentanyl that resulted in a deadly overdose in September in Clackamas County. Matt?
Thanks so much, China. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening out there. We had a great Monday. Good way to start the week. 47 degrees. So, yes, on the chilly side, but fog in the valleys. And that's what we had today. And that's really the biggest challenge going forward for travelers around the Northwest for Thanksgiving. Now, we've got air stagnation advisories for several counties to our south because of the fog that we have. And we had it this morning. It was pretty thick, but it's burning off. In the Portland area, burned off quite readily. And other parts of the valley will be dealing with that on and off through the holiday weekend. Big game on Friday. A lot of people traveling down the valley to Eugene as the Ducks and Beavers get after it. Last game of the season there. It'll be clear in Eugene, but cold that night. So if you are planning on traveling to the game on Friday, be ready for that. So our headlines look like this. We get some rain, but it comes in late tomorrow night, early on Wednesday, moves out as a lot of people are beginning to move towards their holiday destinations Wednesday night and Thursday. And again, other than some valley fog, we're in great shape for the holiday travel season here in the Northwest. We'll check the airports around the country and the weather nationally a little bit later on for those of you traveling out of the region. Guys?
Great news for holiday travel. We'll see you in a bit. Thanks, Matt. To an update this evening, for the first time, we are hearing from the man reportedly linked to the deaths of 4 women in the Portland area. Jesse Calhoun says he is not a serial killer.
He's been communicating from behind bars, exchanging messages with investigative reporter Kyle Boshi. Kyle.
Yeah, over the past 3 months, I've traded messages with Jesse Calhoun using the inmate communication system. He's currently being held in state prison in Eastern Oregon. Calhoun questions why investigators haven't brought any charges yet related to the missing women and claims he's been wrongly accused. The man reportedly linked to the deaths of 4 women in the Portland area claims he didn't do it. "I'm no killer," Jesse Calhoun wrote from behind bars. Over the past 3 months, I've exchanged electronic messages with Calhoun, who's currently being held in Eastern Oregon's Snake River Correctional Institution on charges unrelated to the deaths of the women. "I have not been charged with anything for a reason," Calhoun wrote, using the inmate communication system. "I'm guessing they're trying to come up with whatever they can on me because they have no one else as an easier target as me, sitting duck." In July, the Associated Press, the Oregonian, and Willamette Week all cited law enforcement sources who identified Calhoun as a person of interest in the deaths of Kristen Smith, Charity Perry, Bridget Webster, and Ashley Real. The women's bodies were found in wooded or secluded areas around Portland between February and May. Calhoun has not been charged in any of the deaths.
Charity meant a lot to a lot of people.
Charity Perry was 24 years old. Her mother, Diana Allen, says when police called in late April, she knew.
I broke so bad.
It was the worst possible news.
And I told him, I know why you're calling me. I know exactly why you're calling me.
Charity had struggled with schizophrenia and substance abuse for many years. Her body found in a culvert near Ainsworth State Park in the Columbia River Gorge.
Whoever put her there went out of their way for her not to be found, as she didn't get herself there on her own.
Allen said her daughter, found shoeless, wasn't stabbed, shot, or beaten in the head. Her cause and manner of death, like the other women, remains undetermined, according to investigators. Do you think these cases are linked?
Oh, yes. Do I know how they are linked? No.
Police have not disclosed publicly how the cases may be connected, except to say at least one person of interest is linked to all 4 of the victims.
To think that the person responsible for this is behind bars is a little premature, because at this point in time, nobody has been charged.
In his messages, Calhoun suggests he's been wrongly accused. I'm an easy target, and my name was leaked, he wrote. The community wants blood, and I'm the one who unfortunately got plastered on the news. On June 6th, a heavily armed SWAT team tried to stop Jesse Calhoun in Milwaukee. He jumped into the Willamette River before police arrested him on a parole violation. Calhoun had been released from prison early. His sentence for stolen vehicle and burglary charges cut short after helping fight wildfires. But that commutation was revoked after prosecutors argued in a letter Calhoun has been involved in criminal activity currently under investigation. He was sent back to prison. Currently, the earliest Calhoun would be released is June of 2024. As a result, police and prosecutors have time on their side. Lewis and Clark law professor Tung Yin explains, in this case, there's no rush to seek indictment.
As long as you don't start the speedy trial clock, then you can continue to investigate and try to piece together as much of the case as you can to make it bulletproof.
In the meantime, Calhoun has been appointed a public defender. Investigators say privately they're waiting on forensic testing, and no formal decision has been made on which cases will be charged, where, or whether the cases will be consolidated. From prison, Calhoun argues they're grasping for straws in a desperate attempt to hold somebody accountable. Diana Allen is cautious, avoiding names or pointing fingers.
You have to honor that you are innocent until proven guilty. So no matter how strong your emotions are, you have to back up.
She respects the process and is willing to wait for answers.
What does closure look like for you?
At no point in time is this not going to be a part of my life. This is never going to go away, and I'm never going to be the same, ever.
You can certainly understand why she feels that way. Kyle, the Oregonian reported that Calhoun knew at least 2 of the victims prior to their deaths. Did he confirm that? Did he provide any other details?
No, I asked him for specific. If he's not involved, I said, well, tell me why. Instead, his messages were pretty vague, claiming he was not responsible, painting himself as a victim, and he said he felt badly for the women's families.
Anything new, any updates from police or prosecutors beyond their previous statements?
They've been pretty quiet. I reached out to police and prosecutors in 3 different counties involved in this investigation. They all declined to comment. Worth noting, Calhoun has been assigned a public defender in this case, which is unusual considering he has not been charged. That court-appointed lawyer didn't respond to my emails.
All right, Kyle, thank you.